Hi, my name is Logesh Kumaar and this is my Malaysian memoir. So yeah, growing up in Klang. Man, Klang is kampong for me. It's like my hometown. And not a lot of people look to visit Klang. It's a very, very unique place. But I really consider it home till today because Klang has such a kampong village vibe is like what I like to call it because everyone kind of knows everyone, right? And I love that. And so in school, I find myself at Inti College in Subang Jaya. Instead of going through like the regular doctor engineer route, I wanted to become a computer engineer. That was kind of playful and I didn't really focus a lot on classes. I skipped a lot of class. It was because there was a really cool cafe right across in college called Asia Cafe. A lot of you guys might know that. Hang out there for the whole day, skip all the classes. Just hang out and do things together, eat, drink, and there is foosball and pool on the second floor. Obviously regret that now. I wish I'd put more focus in classes. It would definitely help me more to who I am today. But fast forward, I finally graduated. It's funny enough, at that moment, the whole IT world was kind of frozen because there were way too many IT fresh grads. So midway through my second job, I was still partying, I was still hanging out late nights with friends, I was doing all those sorts of things. I want to say maybe 2 or 3 a.m. at night. I was driving on the freeway by myself. Obviously not a really good situation, you guys know where this is going. But as I was driving behind the wheel, I slept off. The next thing I remember was I woke up to me hitting the divider, hit the side rail and fell into a ravine. And so it was a total loss. The first reaction that I had was to open the mirror at the top and see if my face was okay. Like that was the first reaction I had, I don't know why. It took me a second to realize what just happened. It was a horrible accident. I had to try to break the windows open so that I can actually come out of the car. Eventually, I did manage to go out. No one could help me because they couldn't see me. It's on the freeway, no one could see what happened there. So no one is there to help me. And I just see cars are just passing by and I can't even stop anyone for help. By God's grace, I was completely unscratched. Not a single wound on me. But my car, it was a Honda City, was completely destroyed. To the point that nobody knew what car it was. It was that bad. Front, back, side, everywhere, completely. So anyway, I called my friends, my family ended up coming. My mom was in tears on the scene. Reporters came by, were asking me how are you alive? It was that bad. But anyway, that incident made me really, really reflect on my life. And I thought about I needed something different. If I cannot leave the situation that I'm in, if I cannot be different, I'm gonna completely take myself out of the equation. And that's when I decided, you know what? My family, especially my mom and dad, has always been pushing me to pursue my further studies so that I can actually, get a better job, earn more money and those kind of things. So at that point I decided, you know what? Maybe it's the right time. Maybe it's the right time for me to go to a completely different country, start a new life, get a new perspective of life, and I did that. So I decided to apply to a bunch of universities. There was one university that accepted me, and I was like, yes. The campus of the university I was gonna go for is in New York. Packed my bags. This was only 6 months after the accident. Everything was falling into place, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go. I've never left the country before this. This is my first time actually on a long flight. And so I walk out of the airport, I was really tired, it was a long flight, I just wanted to get to the hotel and crash. So I needed a ride to the hotel and all I knew was I needed to take a taxi, right? And this one guy comes up to me and hey man, do you need a ride? I'm like, yeah, I need to get to a hotel. He's like, come on, I got you, I'll give you a ride. I was like, whoa! And obviously it didn't occur to me at that point, so I just followed this guy. As I was walking and following this Hispanic guy, this one really old African-American guy approaches me, stops me on my shoulder. He's like, don't go with that guy. And I was stunned. I was like, what happened? Things started clicking at that point, oh, shoot, I need to get out of the situation. So I told this guy hey man, I think I left one of my suitcase in the airport. I needed to make some excuse. And he's like, don't worry about it, let's just go first. We gotta get you to a hotel, it's getting late. He's trying to push me to get into this SUV. And I was like, no man, I need that suitcase, my money's in there, When he heard that, he's like, okay, I'll wait for you right here. Go get your suitcase and come. So I ran back into the airport and I didn't come out. I was like afraid. The next morning, I went to my counselor. I said, hey, this is not working out. And that's when he told me like, hey, would you consider moving to California? Because in our university, we have the dorms there, which is easier for you to live in. I was like, you should have told me that before. And so the next thing I know, I packed my bags and I'm flying to California and go to school there. You know, the first 6 months living in a new country by yourself is difficult. I was on the phone with my family a lot, almost every single day. It was very, very hard, but I did really well in school. So that was like the silver lining so far. But then almost when I was about to graduate, something changed my life. I was at a church potluck. I was hanging out, you know, it's a bunch of young adults, and they had the food over there, like a food station. I was in line to get food. As I was in line, this girl like says hi to me. Like she's a really beautiful girl, and she is just very, very friendly, super friendly, and we clicked immediately. Like we had conversations, so much conversations, long as your day. But anyway, that was my first interaction with my now wife. You know, when my mom came over to visit me during my graduation ceremony, my mom had come to, you know, hang out with like church with me, and she had met Rachel there. So my mom really liked her. A couple of like months after that, my mom obviously leaves America to go back to Malaysia, and I call her and I tell mom, hey, I really kind of like this girl. She's kind of cool and all that. My mom was like, Logesh, be careful. You know, you got a lot of girls already break your heart. If you want to date a girl, make sure that girl's like Rachel. And I was like, what? You said make sure it goes like Rachel? I was like, it is Rachel. And she's like, oh my gosh. She was really, really excited for us to be dating. A couple of days after that, it's like, hey Rachel, do you want to go on a date? Like, I said the word date, not just like lunch. And she said yes again. And this time I realized, okay, I'm gonna bring her to Malaysian food. Yeah? So I took her out and I wanted her to have a good time too. So I ordered a bunch of different things, but I ordered like one of a very Malaysian thing, which is chicken rendang. Lo and behold, she loved Malaysian food, and chicken rendang is like her most favorite food till today. A couple of years later, I continued working, and you know, more and more opportunities were given to me, and I slowly started growing in my career. I slowly started getting like better paying jobs, and Rachel and I, you know, we finally managed to purchase our first home in California, which is beautiful, and we were so happy for that. And we decided to have kids. Never in my life thought I'd be a dad, but it's one of the best joys to be able to raise my own son and to shape his life and to mentor him to, you know, make change in the world. So that was such a big occasion for me. And then, you know, we had our second child. But then during that moment, as many of you guys know, COVID happened.
At the conference today, they gave the virus a name, COVID-19, coronavirus disease.
Throughout my life, I've enjoyed watching YouTube, especially vlogs. But now when like COVID, we're stuck at home, I was like, you know what? I picked up the camera. I, you know, tried to capture like 1 or 2 stories of our little lives. Put a video out there. It was good. We had like 30, 40 views. Not that many, and majority was like friends and family. But I felt this exhilaration of like, wow, 40 people watch my videos. Like, oh my gosh. I would like pull up the phone and I'd be like, Rachel, 40 people have watched this. Can you imagine 40 people watch this thing that we did? But then there's this one video we created. At that time, Malaysia was doing really well initially during COVID with their rules and their SOPs and all that. And someone created a video about how successful Malaysia is with handling COVID. And so I told Rachel, this is like such an interesting video. Let's like react to it. Like just give our feedback and reaction to this video. We did that, we posted that, and that video blew up overnight. Our YouTube journey then on was like really orchestrated by 2 things. One, about like what we're passionate to do, which is vlogs. We love telling stories about our little lives and the adventures that we do. Secondly, we wanted to do something to promote and put Malaysia on the map, because that's such a big part of my culture. Watching that progression of like 30, 40 viewers to now literally thousands of viewers watching, I don't care about the numbers. I mean, it's great. The more people watch is awesome, but I care more about the impact that it has on people. My message to you is that yes, I acknowledge that I have privilege and I had the opportunity. And if anyone, the vast majority of people out there, if they were given the same opportunity that I got, they would most likely be in the same position that I'm in, or even better. You know, because I'm not a smart guy. I'm just the average Joe. I'm just like your neighbor. I'm just like someone who you'd meet on the street. So that's my message out there, that put yourself out there more, put yourself in situations and positions that you can succeed and thrive. And that's the best advice I can give. And if you're out there in the world, embrace. Don't constantly criticize, don't constantly say you don't want this, don't constantly be stuck in your own ways. Embrace the culture they're in, embrace the differences that you see out in the world. And yeah, be open to things. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to World of Buzz.